Hey everyone. So this video will understand the SharePoint permissions in deep theoretical part as well and practical parts. So let me just give you a quick overview like what permissions are. So when you create any site in SharePoint, you have the permissions to set because not all people should have access to certain things. Like not all people should edit the site, not all people have access to create documents. There are some people that who may require access, but not that admin level settings, we can say, right? So the permission is nothing like rocket science here. So it's like any databases you set, you do have certain permission. Same way goes with the SharePoint. Now let's understand what permission levels are. What are the permission groups? So if you go to site settings, so let me just go to site settings. So you have to click on site contents, click on the site settings here. Under site settings, you have peoples and groups and the site permissions and site collection administrator. These three things are there. Now let me just cover what site collection administrator are. Site collection admin is something the highest level of permission that someone has. Those have access to everything that is happening in this site. Any documents create, any documents updated, any list, any item in the list, whether it's not created by that person or not, site collection admin have access to everything. This is the highest level of permission that someone can have in the SharePoint. Now, when you create any site in SharePoint, those person is automatically added in the site collection admin. So I have created this site in the last video. Now I am the only one who is the site collection admin here. Now, can you change it? Yes. And what's the recommended way for it? So it is always recommended to have as low as people possible as a site admin. So site admin is something who have access to everything. If there are people who have the SharePoint admin permission. Now SharePoint admin permission is not I'm talking about site. It's a user permission setting. So when you are creating any user in the organization, there are some groups that we have to choose. There are some settings you have to choose. If someone has the SharePoint admin permission, whether they have created this site or not, they will still have to access it. They just have to go to admin center and add themselves in that site group. So you can add a multiple site members here, but it is recommended to have as low as people as you can. Now let's go to peoples and groups. So when I go to people and group, there will be only 3 groups is created by default. I'll show you here. I'll click on more so you can see the names here. You can ignore these 3 for now. The first one is SharePoint training owners, members and visitors. Now when you create any SharePoint site, these 3 groups will be by default added. So now as the name you see here, owners will have the full access to it. Members will still have the edit access, but yes, they cannot edit like site settings. They cannot delete any item from the second stage recycle bin and everything. We can say here. Visitor is something they have full access to the site or whatever you choose, but they cannot edit, modify, delete anything here. They only have the view access, so they can only view the content, view the files in the document lab. They cannot modify them, can download them, can download them on the system, can view them, but not the edit access. Now these are the permission groups. Those are not the permission levels actually. Permission level is different than this. But before that, there is one group that is called everyone except external user. So now when it comes to communication site, let's say if you want to share this site with a huge audience, or let's say to the complete people in your organization, so you are not supposed to write each and every name in the visitor group, editor or member, whatever the permission they have. So there is a group that says everyone except external user. So this group you can add as a visitor. Now I'll just open it here. How you can share the SharePoint site to someone? You have the site access to it. When you open it, you have 3 groups: full control, limited and no control. Limited means edit, no control means visitor. Now let's say if I want to share this site with someone, so let's say there is a single user. So there is one user, there is a manager user, I think. I can just click on it. I have options to play with: full control, edit, or read. I'll just assign him a full control. You can also specify whether you would like to send an email to that person that this site has been shared with you. You can just send it or add a custom message here, but for now I'll just keep it off. I share this site with visitor user. Sorry, no, I accidentally click on edit. So if I go in the limited control, you see the user. Now, if you want to share with everyone, there is a group called everyone except external users. Now, what happened here? When I assign permission to this group, every people in my organization will have access to this site. So I've currently added this in a visitor group, so everyone will have the visitor access to it. Now let's go to site content again. And let's understand the site permission. If I click on site permission, these three groups you can see here, you can just ignore all of these things, like so much happening here. Let me just zoom in my screen. I think it's too low for you. Yeah. So members, owners, visitors, you see permission levels, edit, full control, and read. So these are the three default levels set to this group, but that's not limited to this one. If you click on the permission levels from here, or you can just go to here, okay, from here only, you have 5 permission level here: full control, design, edit, contribute, and read. So full control, as you can see description, there has a full control. Design is something like they can add, edit, update, delete. Sorry, not delete everything, but yes, design you can say like UI point of view, like customizing site navigation, changing the logos and everything. Design permission is something that you can grant to someone. Edit means so first there is a full control. After that we have edit, we have design, contribute, and read. So this is the hierarchy. So edit is something like they can also create document libraries, everything, but they cannot delete the site, or they don't see all the options. So if I go to the SharePoint site, you see there are, let's say, 10 icons, 10 links I can see here. But someone who has edit permission won't see like some of the things, like I can say this one, change the look option, they might not see. This is just an example. Then we have the contribute. Now contribute is the minimum level of permission that someone can have to manage the content. So when I say manage the content, that means they can manage the list, in that they can only add, edit the things. They cannot create a new list, they cannot play with the views, they cannot create a new views. Actually, they cannot add, update, delete any column that is already in that list or library. So contribute is a minimum access if you want some people to contribute with this site, but not to touch anything rather than this, like deleting any document, etc. And then we have the read permission. Read is only the visitor permission. Now you might get question like, I have only this permission, can I create my custom permission? So yes, you do have option to create a permission. So there is an option to create a custom permission, add a permission level. So this is some advanced level topic, you can say. So you can just name that permission level, and here you can see list permission and the site permission. So you can check these boxes. So the custom permission you want to create, you would like to have only people have the read access, or read access to the complete site, but they can only add to this specific list or library. You can create a permission level for this one. So you can see this in a detail, because it will take too long for me to explain each and every thing, like turning in them on, turning it off, right? So yes, custom permission are there to play with, but I think most of the things that already got covered in this default permission level. There are only rare chances you will have the custom permissions. Now let's understand what's going on here. These are the permission groups. this type of SharePoint group, and these are the permission level. Here we have the grant permission option. If you click on it, it will opens the pop-up to share the site with. You can invite people, groups. This is something like same as adding people from here. So this is the modern type of view. It is go too handy, like you just have to click on it. But there is option from here you can add. And once you add the people, you have options. Select permission level, like in which group, which permission level you would like to give. There are multiple peoples, then you should always add them in a group, not to add single people individually. So we have edit, full control, and read. Three groups are there. If there are multiple people, you can add them in this group. But let's say there is only one person there, then in that case, what you can do, you can just assign them permission directly from here without adding them in a group. Now you can also create a group, like these are three default group. You can also create a new one. When you click on create group, so I will name this group as a content managers, let's say. So now content manager is something like I want to create a group that is those people will not have the full access to my website, but they are only allowed to manage the content. Like there are some marketing people, let's say, they'll have to create a post, send newsletter to employees, everything. So I will create a group for them. Who can view this membership of the group? Everyone or group member? So by default, it is set to group members. So let's say there is one group, there are 10 people added in this group. So without those 10 people, no one will able to see this group in the site settings. But if you choose this setting to everyone, then everyone might see. Who can add the membership of the group? Like group owners or group members? So would you like to have this setting that only group owners can add the members? You can turn this on. If you'd like to have any group member can add members to it, you can turn this on, group members. So it's like in a WhatsApp only, like you create a group, you have certain people's members added, they can also add a members, like the same kind of functionality. Then you can choose the permission levels. Full control, design, edit, contribute. So these are the 5 permission default will be there. But if you create a new custom permission that I have just told you how you can create, that one will also appear here. So I think I already told you, like if someone have the if you want to give someone access to contribute something, so contribute is the minimum highest level permission that someone has to manage the content. So I want contribute permission. So if I click on it, it will create a group. It will take a few seconds and you can see the group has been created here. Now what you can do, you can just add the members in this group. You can click on new, you can specify the name of them, and you can just click on save. So all the people will get added in this group. Now one thing just for information, like whatever the groups you create here, they won't appear in the site access setting. There will be only 1 here. So if you have 10, 20 different groups, if you are expecting those to be appear here, they will not appear here. You have to manually go to the site permissions. You have to manually add them. Then you can also change the group settings. So if you click on this, you can choose a group setting. You can change these settings, but yes, you can also delete this one. And then we have, I think, group permission, that is fine. Now let me just go back to the permissions. Now here we have one section called as access request setting. So here what happened, if you share the link of this site, so I'm talking about the link, not the site sharing. If you share this link to anyone and they don't have access to it, so it will display a message that access required, and there is one call to action button that says request access. So if they click on request access, you will get an email. Those who are having the site collection admin or the full control, those users will receive an email that okay, this particular user needs to access the site. You can just grant access straight away, or you can select all the request directly here as well. Then there is a site collection administrator that I already told you, like the highest level of permission that someone has. If you would like to check a permission of any user, so there are lots of groups here, lots of people there, but you don't have time to check one by one, like, okay, this user has which permission. You can just simply click on check permissions. You can directly specify their email address, and this will automatically give you like what are the permissions this user has. So let's check it with my name. So you see there are one full control, read, contribute. So as I have created this site, I have all the access, and this is the highest level of permission, and some information is there. So here you can just check it. You cannot modify or delete anything. So this is just for the checking purpose. There is one thing, like if you understand this completely, just let me know, or any questions you have, just write down in comments so that we can move in the further topics. Now there is one feature called break permission inheritance. Now what happened? Let's say if you create any list or any SharePoint library. So let me just go through it. I will click on new. Here you have option to create list or library. I'll just click on list. Now I'll just choose a template. This is something that we are going to cover in detail in the future videos, but creating list and column is the topic of this video. That's why I'm choosing a template. Now if you create any list or library, you have to manage their settings, right? So how you can do it? You go to that list, you click on setting icon, and there is an option for the list setting. You click on it. There are lots of settings there, but that's not the topic of this video. I'll straight away go to permissions for this list. Now let's understand this. There are some cases that if you share the site with everyone, but there are some cases that particular SharePoint list or any specific library that you want only few people can access. So if you remember, like I have told you about the audience targeting in the navigation section, right? So you have to specify the groups, and only people in that group will access the SharePoint link. Same concept applies here, but that's not audience targeting. Here it is called the permission inheritance. So what will happen if you create any list or any SharePoint document library? By default, it will take its parents' permission. So parents, I mean its site permission. As you can see, content manager, member, owner, and visitor. These are the same permission level I have on my site. So people are having member permission on this site. That means the edit permission will have the edit permission on this list as well. If they have view access to the site, they will have the view access to the list as well. So I think you got this idea. Now, what happens if you create any list or library that is supposed to confidential, only few people can access or few people can have permission? Let's say there is a site, everyone has access, but there is a particular list where everyone should have access to edit, update, and delete. In that case, you have to break the list permission. So there is a setting called stop permission inheritance. So if I click on it, it will show you alert. Click on OK. Now you see there are checkboxes appearing, and this is also changed here. What I can do, this list is a unique permission. That means now this list or this library is not taking permission from its parent. So whenever I say parent, I mean the SharePoint site. Now what I want, this list should be only visible to the owners, who are the owners of this site or who have the full control of this site. So let me just delete this one. Remove user permissions. Just click on OK. Now people who are having visitor or edit access won't able to see this list in the site content. Even though there is a link of this list added in the site navigation, they won't able to see it. only owners will have the full control to this site. Now what happen if you would like to have visitor to add this in list, add in this list, right? So what you can do, just click on grant permission. Here, as I mentioned, you can also select people and the groups as well. So here I will just SharePoint training members. I think visitor should also pop up. Okay. SharePoint training visitor. I don't want to send an email to everyone, and permission I will say contribute, because what I want is, I don't care if those people have visitor access to the site, they should add the content in this list. Let me refresh it. So the visitor user will have the contribute access to this list only. Now, if you do this accidentally, or if you delete it, if you want to give reset everything, you have option delete unique permission. When you click on it, when you say it's okay, it will just reset everything. It will delete all the unique groups that you have assigned. It will start copying its permission from its parent. Now this is called a list inheritance. Now same concept goes with the document library as well. So it's not something like this is the applicable for the list only. Same goes with document library, site pages, everything. Now if you want to manage the permission of its parent site, there is a quick link, manage parent. So if I click on it, now this is the parent level permission I am having. Though this is the site permission I am editing here. Now let's go back to our main site. I'll go to site content. The list setting I showed you. If I go to any document library, if I go to its documents library settings, click on more library settings, and if you go to permission for this document library, there also you have option. So it's not limited to SharePoint list only. Now I think you understood like permission concept here. There is few information. In SharePoint, you cannot, in SharePoint list actually, you cannot have the item level permission in the SharePoint list. You must have the list level permission only, because there are some cases like you want like, okay, there are 10 items in list created by 10 different user. If you want each and every user to create and edit its own item, then there is a setting for the list, but that's not a permission kind of thing. But in library, you can manage the permission based on the individual items you have added. So this is something I just wanted to quickly tell you. Now let's talk about the recycle bin things, because there are content. Obviously, this is the site, documents going to create, list is going to create, items is going to be deleted. Obviously, there is a concept here also, recycle bin. So now owners and editors have access to this recycle bin. Visitor and contribute cannot see this, cannot restore the documents from it. So whatever the elements I delete, so let me just go to site content and delete the list that I have just created, and I go to recycle bin. Now you see the recycle bin is there. So here I think 90 days, up to 90 days, this data will be here. After that, if anyone accidentally deleted an item from the recycle bin, so let's say I will delete it from here. So now you might wonder like, I lost all the documents and I cannot recover it. There is no chance. But in SharePoint, there are two recycle bin, first stage recycle bin and second stage recycle bin. So whenever you delete any item, list, I mean list, library, anything you delete, it will go to the first stage recycle bin. After 90 days, it will get deleted. But if you accidentally delete it from the recycle bin only, there is option for the second stage recycle bin. Now, second stage recycle bin is only can only access to the site collection administrator, not the full control user, only site collection administrators. So here you'd have a 30 days window to recover from it. But if the document or any item delete from here, then it's hard to recover from it. So don't get nervous like if I delete it from the recycle bin, yes, you do have 90 plus 30, like 120 days window to recover your documents. So you can easily restore it. Now I restored it. Now if I go to site content, my list is here. So there are two first stage and second stage recycle bin. So I think we have almost covered everything regarding the permissions, the permission inheritance, how permission is going to apply, how sharing works. And when we are going to dive in the topic for the list and libraries, then I'm going to share the how you can share items to anyone, right? Whether it's a document, whether it's a list item, and how you can manage the permission of them. So if you have any doubts in this permission kind of thing, so this is a very important concept. Usually when it comes to SharePoint or any database you like, permission is something you should aware about. And I will recommend you to I will add a link to the blog post of this permission kind of thing in detail. So I will recommend you not just to rely on this video. If you want to dive in more, you can always read those articles. You will get a better idea of it. Still, if you have any question, you can always let me know in comments. Thank you.